pleasant good morning to all of you joining us on the Sin City Classic Facebook page and the Sin City YouTube channel. This is the third day of our broadcasting here at the 2024 Sin City Classic. Today we are at Sunset Park where we were on Friday when we did the Legends games. But today we have a couple of C Division games, the C2 Division, and then we'll take a break and then we'll have at least 4 in the D2 Division, 5 if there is a 50. And good morning again, Rick Siegel with you along with Dr. Joel Tremblay here as we get ready for a game that will be between the Daddy Sharks and the New York Eagle. The New York Eagle just won their game to advance to this round, and they are taking a little bit of a break before they have to get ready to play this next game. We have a beautiful day here, a little chilly, but that's all right. We have the sun-kissed sky. That's going to help warm it a little bit, but right now temperature is in the upper 40s on our way to a high today in the 50s. Probably going to be the best weather day we've had. Good morning.
Good morning, Rich. I agree with you. It feels a little bit warmer today, especially if you're out there in the sun. Looking forward to some good C action. For those of us who have been watching through the weekend, on Friday we covered Legends C and D. So this C division are folks who are the same rating of folks who are in that Legends C division that we covered on Friday, but they can be younger. There's no age limit in this division.
On Friday, we crowned 2 champions at Legends C and D, and they were both teams from Palm Springs. So they are taking home at least 2 trophies with them, and who knows how they'll do in the other divisions in which they are competing. Yesterday, we were up at Lorenzi Park for games that involved the women's division. We had a chance to speak with Roz Bug yesterday. And
good, Paul?
Today, we're looking forward to at least one guest. We'll save that for later, and then know that he is definitely coming. But as we get ready for this game, which will be umpired by Minneapolis St. Paul's Paul Kramer, how about a few of the rules that people may not know?
Yeah, so softball looks a lot like baseball, and it's very similar in a lot of ways, but a few differences. So there are going to be 10 players in defense instead of 9. Most teams are going to put that extra defender in the outfield and have 4 outfielders instead of 3. But there's no rule that says you have to do that. So you will see some teams pull somebody into the infield and have a 5th infielder, or play what's often called a rover, which is somebody who's playing sort of in the middle between the infield and the outfield. The batters are all going to start with a 1-and-1 count. That's 1 ball and 1 strike. And there used to be a rule that was called the courtesy foul, that if you had 2 strikes on you and you hit a foul ball, you got 1 more pitch. It was a rule that pitchers didn't like because they had to find 1 more good pitch for the batter. And this year at the Sin City Classic, that rule is gone. So if you have 2 strikes on you and you hit a foul ball, you are going to be out, and we usually count that as a strikeout. The pitches need to go at least 6 feet in the air, but no higher than 12 feet in the umpire's estimation. If it's above 12 or lower than 6, that's going to be called an illegal pitch. And you will hear the umpire say it, or see them put their arm out as a horizontal bar. You can still swing at those illegal pitches and put the ball in play, but if you let it land, that is going to be called a ball.
We are moments away from starting. The coaches and the umpire are meeting at home plate, exchanging the lineup cards. We have the Daddy Sharks lineup. They've been waiting to get into this game. As we said earlier, the New York Eagle just completed a game in which the final out was made on a runner for their opponent, who rounded third base and could not get back to the base in time and got thrown out, and that is how the game ended. A very competitive division in the C division, several teams in the C division as well, which is why they have broken it up into 2 categories, C1, C2, and the same thing for the D division. Yesterday in the women's division, we had a D+. We had, I think, a D1 and D2. Is that what we had there?
I believe there was a D1, right? D2, and a D+, correct.
All right.
And so these are the C2 divisions. So this is usually what happens is the teams submit a roster with every player rated, and then the top 10 players combine to form the team rating. So the D1 the C1 and C2 divisions are usually separated by the team rating, and the C2 division is going to be the half or whatever number of teams have a lower team rating. The C1 division usually a higher team rating. So, but the team's certainly no less competitive, no less desire to win that Sin City trophy.
So the coin flip has been held. The Daddy Sharks won the flip, so they will be the home team, and the New York Eagle will be batting first. We're getting their lineup for you before this game starts. We hope to have that. One thing that we do want to let you know is, again, we are broadcasting from the Ken Scarce Memorial Studios. In addition to being named to the NAGA Hall of Fame, Ken was a former GLASA commissioner and director of the Sin City Classic when he took it over. It changed from the Sin City Shootout to the Sin City Classic. As well, he's also been a huge supporter of the Cloud Sports Network. Ken passed away suddenly in 2021, and in his honor, the Ken Scares Leadership Award was created, and they're always looking for donations to benefit the scholarship fund. So the Daddy Sharks are on the field. Their pitcher is Nancy Cohen, and the catcher is Will Sabella. Joel is writing down the New York Eagle lineup for the scorebook, and we'll get it in mind, and we're almost ready to go. Again, our umpire today is Paul Kramer. As we've been mentioning several times during our broadcasts yesterday and on Friday, this is not going to be the first time we're going to be in Las Vegas, because the International Pride Softball, or iPride Softball, is going to have its World Series here in October, and we're all looking forward to coming back then. You know, you think about it, the World Series usually held in the week that leads into Labor Day, but that was not an option because in that time frame, the weather here was a little bit too hot. So they wanted to wait until the weather cooled down, just like they did in Phoenix in 2007, and all right, first pitch of the ball game is swung on and lined down the left field line for a base hit. Number 1, rounding first on his way to second. He'll start this game with a leadoff double. The ball gets by the second baseman on the throw-in, and as a result, the runner makes it to third, so it'll be a double and a throwing error for Mikey Cordova. And here is Sean, another left-handed batter. Always like when these guys go opposite field. There's a ground ball to second base. The run will score. Play is to first base, and that's out number 1. So Cordova scored. Batter did his job. He hit the ball to the right side, and so that allowed Cordova easy access to home plate, and put out goes 4-3, and that'll bring up Matt.
One other thing we may see in one of these innings is that the teams are allowed what's called a courtesy runner. So if there is a slow runner who gets on base and you'd like to replace that person with somebody faster or who's just a better runner, you're allowed to do that for any batter once an inning. There are also sometimes on teams players that have an ADA designation and they get the accommodation of a runner, but that has to be the last batter.
Matt Cordova hits a very high pop-up on the infield. Pitcher calls for it, but the ball runs to his left, and it's going to be the shortest single that you'll ever see.
And that is why your coach says, run it out, run it out, run it out.
Didn't hear anybody yell, I got it, I got it. Pitcher struck his glove out, but he was not able to catch it. So runner at first base, 1 run in the inning. Ryan Ramsey is the batter. Well, no, this is pitch is a ball, and that pitch is also a ball, so the count is 2 balls and 1 strike.
We can talk a little more about it later, but I wonder if the mask had anything to do with that. In baseball, you see the catchers usually throwing off their mask. I think a mask is great for safety because we do allow balls to be hit up the middle in this league, but it may have been a problem for him to look up.
There's a line drive in the right center field for a base hit. Cutting it off is the left center fielder. Cordova round second. He's on his way to third. He stands up there to be first and third with 1 out. The catcher on that play was not wearing a mask, and that frankly should have been his ball. He should have called the pitcher off because the ball was like high enough for that. All right, this is Rene Esparza. Got the tank top on today. Swung on, and here's a ground ball to shortstop. They'll go to second to get the force out. There'll be no play at first base, and Matt Cordova scores. It's now 2-0 for New York.
Yesterday we were covering the women's plus division. Today this is back to an open division, and so anybody can play in the open division. That includes cisgender males, cisgender females, transgender males and females, agendered and non-binary folks. They are all welcome here in the open division.
Here is Shigei, and I won't even try his last name. He hits a ground ball to shortstop, and he flips to second for the out. And so the inning is over. 2 runs scored for the New York Eagle here at the top of the first inning. We go to the bottom of the first. It's New York Eagle 2, and the Daddy Sharks coming to bat here on the Cloud Sports Network.
And when we have these turnovers, we are sometimes going to tell you about sponsors of this Sin City Classic and the Cloud Sports Network. And our first sponsor today is Piranha Las Vegas. The Sin City Classic wants to acknowledge longtime sponsor Piranha Las Vegas. An early supporter, Piranha is Las Vegas' hottest nightclub. Away from the traffic nightmare that is the Strip, Piranha is the home of legendary Vegas performer Hot Chocolate, who along with the rest of the girls and the Go-Go Boys will make sure you have the best time. Whether it's your first time or your first time in a long time, go to piranhavegas.com for more info. That's piranhavegas spelled out.com for more info.
So the